Hello, welcome to TechWeb Dots. This is part 11 of Blazor app tutorial series and part 2 book management system where we want to perform CRUD operation. Okay, and as you can see, we will create ASP.NET Core API. Okay, so what we will learn in this session, how can we create ASP.NET Core Web API to access data from server in Blazor app. Okay, and what are the basic requirements? Visual Studio 2019 and ASP.NET Web Development Workload is required, .NET Core 3.0 SDK, you should check it before proceeding, and basic knowledge of ASP.NET Core C# HTML will be helpful for you. I strongly recommend you to watch the suggested video, which is Blazor app with CRUD, in which we have performed read operation through models. Okay, so link is given in the description of this video. Let's move ahead without wasting time. So what architecture we are going to perform in CRUD operation? There will be a client which will send a request to the Blazor server. Then Blazor server send a request to RESTful.NET Core MVC API. Okay, and that will use the entity framework core to communicate with the server. Okay, so this architecture we will perform. And what is the benefit of using this architecture is, in further operations, RESTful is very helpful if you want to cover other broad range of devices, so data can be served those clients as well. And another important factor of using this architecture is, if we want to change the type of application from web server template to WebAssembly template, so with minor changes we can change it. Okay, if we are not using this .NET Core MVC API RESTful service, in that case Blazor directly communicate with the DB with the entity framework core, and that will not be that much flexible to convert the application from web server to WebAssembly. Okay, so this is very helpful if you want to make it flexible. If you are very much sure in future there will be no need to change the project type from WebAssembly to web server or vice versa, in that case you can skip this using API. But there is lots of benefit of using .NET Core MVC Web API between server and database. Okay, I will also show you all the changes that we need to perform to set up .NET Core MVC API. Okay, I will show you how can we create this .NET Core Web API. So let me go through you few steps what we have done so far. We have created a model project. We have already given it a name, model. Okay, and then we have created a razor component as well, which we call book. And in previous video we have seen the read operation, how we can show this data. Okay, so let me fire up my Visual Studio to show you all these things in action, because we need .NET Core MVC API. Okay, this is the same solution that we were using in our previous session. Okay, so now we will add a REST API in the solution to communicate with the database. Okay, so right click on it, add new project. We will select ASP.NET Core Web Application from here, select next. Now we will give it a meaningful name. So the name is bookmanagement.api. Okay, and click create. From this window we will select API. Okay, and ASP.NET Core 3.1 is already selected. Okay, let's click on create. Now we can see our book management API is added. Okay, now we will use this API to communicate with database and also to fetching and data access all the things. Okay, so if you want to run both of these products together, so we will set up both of them. Right click on it, set start a project. Okay, let's have a look what we have been got. So we will select multiple, and we can see web is our starter project. We will also select API as well. Okay, so that at runtime we can consume this API service as well. Okay, let me change the order let me put it on the top. Okay, so first API, second web, and third model. Okay, let me apply these changes and run our project. So here my application is loading. Now we can see this is the same result that we see earlier. Okay, let me check another browser. Yes, we have another window as well of the browser. We can see there is a JSON data which is given by the ASP.NET Core API service that we have just added. Are both the projects working fine? Okay, so let me make few more changes as well. So in dependencies, let me add the reference of models. Okay, add reference. From here we can select the models and click OK. So now we can check the dependencies. Yes, we have a project, and in that book management model reference is there. Okay, and by default the things which are there we don't need it, because for further use we will use the book management system to access the book data from the database. Okay, we can see there are few things which are by default already there in this API project, like weather forecast and weather forecast controller. Okay, so we don't need this controller and this weather forecast. Okay, let me delete these two files. So we have deleted the extra files. Now we will use this API. There are few more changes that I want to do in my model. Okay, so to make it simplified, let me make it author ID like we have book ID. Okay, and make it a integer. Okay, and similarly changes we should also apply where we are consuming these models, and those are in BookList space. Okay, from where we are splitting the components. Now we will make it author ID okay, and give its value to 1. In the same way, let me make it, there is still red, let me remove it. Author ID, let me set it to 2. Okay, let me make the changes in the third object of my model, and let me put it here ID, and the value is 3. Okay, let me save the changes. So we can see now our application is still working in the same way. Okay, and we are not using Entity Framework core code directly into our application, because in that case that will be tightly coupled, and if we want to move our application from web server template to WebAssembly, then with the Entity Framework code it will be really tough. Okay, I hope you like this video. If you have a question, please leave a comment. I will reply on that as soon as possible. Okay, and don't forget to watch my next video, which is on how to set up Entity Framework core for API in Blazor app. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.